The Bank of America ROVAL 400 playoff elimination race is on WCNC Charlotte Sunday at 2 o'clock. I am pleased to be joined by Jeff Burton from NBC Sports, going to be on the call. Jeff, I just got to ask you about your vantage point for this race because it's a unique track. What is it like to call this race and keep an eye on these drivers from up in the booth?
Well, this road course is very unique because you can see the racetrack from all the seats, right? Most road courses, you see a little bit of section in front of you. We happen to have the best seat because we're the highest and we can see the most, but it's really, this is one of those places where I get a real sense of what the fans can see, and I don't have to look at anything on a television monitor or see what's going on in the corner I can't see. So from a road course perspective, it keeps you in the ball game, keeps you understanding what's going on, and there's action every single lap. It is a wild racetrack, and no matter where you look, there's something going on.
All right, that racetrack was reconfigured in May, and then little birdie told me you were out there in September looking at turn 7 specifically. It is so severe, that turn, to get back onto the oval. How do you think these drivers are going to contend with that?
Well, it starts actually, you set up 7 by getting to 6, and what's wild is like you don't think about the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway having elevation changes, but you go up a hill approaching turn 6 and you can't see turn 6. It's a blind corner. And by the way, it's a fast corner. It's not a corner where you're just like heavy braking and turn. You're rolling through there, and then that takes you to turn 7, and that's a 180-degree hairpin turn. And what's interesting about 6 is the momentum's going to try to carry you out and take you to the 7 corner, as opposed to being able to stay to the right side of the road and set yourself up for a better turn. So that's a collision point. That's a place where people are going to try to get underneath each other. It's a passing zone that's been created that wasn't there before. And if anybody's watched these people race, they're going to use that passing. They're going to try to push the issue. And a lot of drivers have some concerns about how many incidences and problems we'll see there.
Yeah, I know a lot of drivers were, quote, taking a walk in the infield just to see what it might look like. Is this one of those things? I mean, there's practice and qualifying Saturday. Is it just one of those things they're going to have to figure out Sunday?
Well, they're so good at what they do, and they'll figure it out, but not without some challenges. And it's one thing to figure it out by yourself. It's a whole other thing to figure it out when they drop the green flag on a restart, and there's 40 cars working themselves through the infield. So every situation is going to be different. There's also a change on the front straightaway chicane. Now that's a much sharper corner as well, which will greatly impact restarts, and it'll greatly impact if you're underneath someone. When you get into that complex of corners, it's very, very tight. It's going to be hard for 2 cars to fit there side by side. So they do a great job of figuring it out. But there's going to be some give and take. You're going to have to work together as drivers to get through there. But this is the time of year where no one has the patience to work together. There's people trying to make the next round of the playoffs. There's people trying to win championships. There's people trying to salvage their year and careers in some cases. And this is the time of year the clock's ticking. So give and take doesn't normally work well this time of year.
I know some of the drivers on the bubble, they're looking at points, trying to figure out what the approach is. Is it hard as a driver to just be like, this is how many points I need to pick up, rather than just go for it?
Well, the problem is you can't control what your competition's doing because they fight too. And so depending on your situation, there's a few drivers that come in here that pretty much need to win, right? And I think that they can call the strategy of the race. It doesn't matter where they're running, early in the race. It only matters what you're doing at the end, because they're kind of must-win guys. There's some other guys that just want clean days. They don't want to hit anything. They don't want to be run into. And there's some others that could have just a solid day if some others have problems and get done what they need to get done. But everything I just said, you don't know what's going to happen. Turn 1, lap 1, the whole entire program might change. So what's important for you as a driver is to focus on what you need to do, right? And that you can't start the race thinking, okay, at the end of the race, I got to do this. That's a big picture topic that goes in your head. But what you do every corner, what you do every lap, what you do every stage, that determines what the end of the race is. And if you get caught up so much in what the outcome needs to be, you can completely get messed up. You have to focus on the right now. You got to be 1 second ahead of yourself, not 2 hours ahead of yourself.
All right, final question, Jeff. Do you find yourself getting ROVAL jealousy for these guys that get to drive, or are you like, I don't want any part of that thing?
You know, I wasn't a great road racer. I never won a road race, and I won a lot of races right there on that oval. So I would have been fond of that oval because of my success level. That's how competitors are. We don't care if it's cool or not cool or whatever. We only care how it works for us. And the ROVAL wouldn't have worked as well for me as the oval, so I would have been an oval guy. But what the ROVAL has done, it is completely shaken up the playoffs, and it's put something else in there that's made it difficult for the competitors. And as a spectator of sports, why do we love the NFL playoffs? Why do we love the NCAA March Madness, and why do we love the NASCAR playoffs? Because it's all in your face, and if you don't get it done, you're out. And it doesn't matter if you like the racetrack or not. You got to get over that. You got to pay attention to business. And if you don't, somebody will take your spot. They'll go win a championship, and you'll be looking at their trophy.
All right, Jeff Burton from NBC Sports. Good luck on the call. Anything can happen. The Bank of America ROVAL 400 on WCNC Charlotte Sunday at 2 o'clock.